let's look at this Mengu Orzhov control, which I think I can make sense of. By the way, just so all of you know, I am historically worst at playing aggro decks. I think aggro decks are actually the initially easiest decks to play because you're just like, oh, I just fucking kill the guy, and your win condition is to just attack, right? You just kill the other person. But I think that once you start to climb up, control decks, combo decks, mid-range decks, I feel like have more decisions, but then start to make also a little more sense because you see the answers to the problems you were encountering when you were inexperienced. But I think that playing aggro at the highest level is so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard, I can't believe it. I think aggro players who like are really good at playing aggro decks are just breathtaking to me because they just you just don't get any cards. You know? You have no cards. You're MacGyver every fucking game. And every player hates losing to MacGyver. Let's be real. Losing to aggro fucking blows. But God, is it impressive to watch good aggro players play. And I am just not that player. So I'm very happy that we're not playing it. This is a deck that I saw on Andrea Mengucci's stream. We're going to do our usual play it best of 1 to get a little sensation of piloting it. And then we'll switch to best of 3 because it is our format of preference. So the big combination that many people were identifying right away upon just card reviews, I saw this everywhere. Treacherous Blessing. Pay 3 mana to draw 3 cards, but whenever you cast a spell, you lose a life. No big deal. I play Treacherous Blessing to draw 3 cards, and then on turn 4, I play a Doom Foretold, which I pass to you, make you sack a thing, comes back to me, and boom, I sacrifice a Treacherous Blessing. Quick, clean, and easy. So the initial constructions that were around Doom Foretold and Treacherous Blessing were these Dance of the Manse decks. So if I actually just add this in, and Dance of the Manse. Holy shit, look at that brain fart. We spell dance, D-A-N-S-E, because you spell Mance, M-A-N-S-E, Dance of the Manse. This card lets you return things from your graveyard that are enchantments back to the battlefield, so people were like, oh, cool, this can go into that Dance of the Manse deck shell. But I like this deck because it's not hard built around the Doom Foretold, Treacherous Blessing combination. And into Dance of the Manse. It's not hard built around that. This is just a component. Doom Foretold also will have nice synergy with something like the Birth of Meletis, the uncommon saga that has increasingly been incorporated into more and more decks. This is just a very nice, efficient little card. All right, get some planes, make a wall. Then you can, sack it to Doom Foretold. Or you can gain 2 life. It's a very excellent anti-aggro tool. You're always happy to play this on turn 2. So if we look at some of the other shells of the deck, we have some of the usual suspects. Murderous Rider, a very good way to kill creatures and planeswalkers. Oath of Kaya, kind of the same thing. Another good way to kill creatures and planeswalkers, but also has some life gain. And if we have more planeswalkers, we get some additional benefit out of this. And indeed, we have some of the very nice planeswalkers, Elspeth. If we have enchantments and things that we're sacking to go to the graveyard, such as Birth of Meletis, well, actually, such as any saga, which gets sacrificed and put into the grave. Doom Foretold will eventually get sacrificed and go to the grave. Treacherous Blessing will eventually get sacrificed and go to the grave. We have a lot of things in our own deck that automatically fill the graveyard that we can use as escape. We have Liliana, Dreadhorde General, as just a strong black-white finisher card. Or excuse me, a strong black finisher card, but in this black-white, it's a strong black-white finisher card. And then the other things in here that are, I think, sensible, 4 Elspeth Conquers Death, 2 Kaya's Wrath. I mean, Elspeth Conquers Death especially is such a fucking powerhouse card. I love that there's 4 copies in the main here. Notice we only have a few cards that are 5 and higher. Like a good control deck, most of the cards are cheaper. But Elspeth Conquers Death, man, it exiles a target permanent. It's just a permanent. It's not a non-land permanent. It's not a non-creature permanent. It's not a creature or planeswalker. It's just a permanent with converted mana cost 3 or greater. This kills Fires of Invention. This kills all 3 mana planeswalkers and up. This gets Anything that has some on-death effect, like a Cavalier of Thorns. This gets the girl at the end of the movie, right? Like, this is... Elspeth Conquers Death is a winner, man. But I think that the cute tech cards that are padded around this is Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, which I think is very cute. The idea of, like, yeah, no, I'm just going to make some more pingers. And the escape is something that can be activated very regularly. 2 Davriels. I have been struggling to find a good 3-drop in a lot of my black decks. And Davriel actually is kind of sick. Especially if we are getting cards out of the hand and starving our opponent of resources. This can start pinging for 2 as well. Agonizing Remorse has become an incredibly popular card in pretty much any deck that has any slowness at all. You just look in the hand and just get any non-land card out of there and exile it. Ooh! Very nice in a set that has cards like Uro, that has escape cards. This, I think, is the cutest, cleverest card in the entire deck. A pair of Orzhov Enforcers. Another question mark for me in a lot of these black decks is, like, do I have any way to, like, have some defense against aggressive decks in the 2-drop slot without completely neutering myself? Take Legion's End as an example. Legion's End exiles a creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all the other ones with the same name on the battlefield, in the hand, in the graveyard. It just deletes. But what if your opponent is playing, like, Jeskai Fires that just doesn't have any 2-mana creatures? You have a dead card, right? Orzhov Enforcer is not a beater, but it has Death Touch, so it can kill a Cavalier. It's a 1/2, so it can deal with a lot of obnoxious 1/1s, such as the Fervent Champion. And it has this Afterlife Spirit, which can act as another blocker. I think this card is brilliant, and I will certainly misplay it throughout. We have a single Cavalier of Dawn to act as an additional tool to help us win. It deals damage and can also destroy threatening non-land permanents, such as Fires of Invention and all that other bullshit. There's pretty much an understandable sideboard. We have Kaya's Wrath to blow more shit up. E to Extinction is another potential removal card. Gideon Black Blades to deal with some of those obnoxious control decks. Duress for control decks. Devout Decree and Noxious Grasps as the respective color hate cards. A single D-Spark for dealing with Jeskai Fires in particular is very nice. Kaya Orzhov Usurper. Get that shit out of the graveyard. Kill those witches' ovens and whatnot. Kunoros, Hound of Athreos. Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Zinga Dinga Binga. Very, very nice against the cats. A lot of 1-ofs in this sideboard, which means that I will absolutely have lots of margin to fuck up. So let's try to rock it out. Once again, I saw this on Andrea Mengucci's channel. And at least half of everything that I've just said is shit that Andrea said on his channel. And I'm repeating it to you now. And you're giving me credit for being intelligent. Look at that. Everybody loves the parrot. The tale of the parrot and the bear. The bear that was strong and mighty. But the parrot simply repeated things that he had heard elsewhere. And everyone thought the parrot was wisest of all. Oh man, it's so good. Alright, Temple of Silence. I should have looked at the mana base, and I didn't. Okay, I don't think I want a Fabled Passage, because I have 4 mana. I'm about to get a 5th mana. And what I really want is a way to deal with some bullshit, or to apply additional threats. Yeah, Dick, so I fixed the Cardboard Live thing by uninstalling the extension and reinstalling the extension. Oh shit! Look at J. Gill negating the Curse of Meletis. So there are 2 popular Simic decks in the wild. In what order should we do this? The 2 popular Simic decks that exist right now are the Simic Ramp deck that has Uro, Growth Spirals, Cavalier of Thorns, and other such things. The other one is Simic Flash, is still one of the winningest decks in the format, despite having no new cards added. No new cards added. Everything is from previous sets. Brineborn Cutthroats, Frilled Mystics. Interestingly, the very popular versions of this deck that was once again popularized by the absolute mega brilliant genius, Seth Manfield. Seth Manfield built this list that included Paradise Druids, a non-flash creature, and Nissas, a non-flash creature, and like, I think it's just 2 Hydroid Krasis, a non-flash creature, plus some of the other shells. Yeah, I mean, this gets sacrificed, but that's fine. It's a slow as hell card. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to luck into it. Fuck. Hi, my name is Sean. Fuck. Jesus. Yeah, so Jay Gill's deck is super duper strong. Yeah, I think it was Brad Nelson who was saying that he was struggling to figure out the list that he wanted to build, and then Brad Nelson just said, "What's Seth Manfield doing?" and then just did that.
I can escape my path. No more.
Create tokens. I'm creating the tokens so that way Liliana can potentially draw some shit. But it's important to know that we are totally and utterly fucked. If you think otherwise, you'd be wrong. It's the hard block life. Do. It's the hard block life for day 9. There's no block here. Do. Summon a dog. Ah. Alright, well. My name is Sean and I love to go to 2. Please don't be a counter here. Please don't be a counter one time. I mean, it's probably a counter. Fuck. Alright, you know, we're dead. It's fine. It's fine. I don't give a shit. Alright, we got defeated. That deck is so strong. I'm going to keep playing it a little bit, but after every one of these games, because this is my first time playing the deck, I want to just briefly step in here and peek at the sideboard and say things like, okay, I would probably put a D-Spark, the Noxious Grasps in there. The Duresses seem reasonable. Eat to Extinction seems reasonable. I probably wouldn't want some of these slower cards. What are some of the slower cards in here? Doom Foretold I'd probably cut. Those don't seem especially strong. Orzhov Enforcer is a super good card in this matchup. Agonizing Remorse is really good. Cavalier of Dawn seems pricey. Liliana seems pricey. Yeah, maybe I just put in a good amount of removal. Yeah, I think I sort of see roughly how it would work. Welcome to Sean's Getting Ass Kicked show. Jules says, what's the reasoning for all the 1-ofs in the sideboard? It seems stronger to have multiple things like Kunoros or Duress that do specific things. Yeah. This is... There's a type of logic that is really subtle that I think it's super fascinating. So, let's think of how we want to describe it. Let's say, for some reason, in one matchup, you want 3 ways to deal with some... Fuck, what's a good example? You want 3 ways to remove creatures. You really feel like you need 3 more removal cards. Now, it doesn't matter why you thought of this. Just let's assume that this is what you believe. You need 3 removal cards. And then in another matchup, you need 3 more ways to deal with Fires of Invention. So what you could do is put in 3 enchantment removal and 3 creature removal for 6 total cards in the sideboard. Or what you could do is think of a way to make those overlap. So what you do is you might have creature removal, and a D-Spark, because that can exile big creatures and anything that costs 4 or greater. And then for your enchantment removal, you have a D-Spark, and another enchantment removal, and another enchantment removal. So you have these overlaps that are going on there. So that's one reason why you might wind up with lots of one-of copies of things, is because what people are trying to do is they're trying to pack as many overlaps as they can in terms of answers. Also, another reason why people... let's just answer a question that I get a lot anyways, even though it wasn't explicitly asked. Hey, Sean, what about trying to get lots of... What about, why is there not 4 copies of Murderous Rider, but there's only 3 or 2? Like, what's up with that? Often, you will first start with the concept you are trying to achieve. Like, I want 5 cards that remove creatures. 5 cards that remove creatures. My choices for removal for early creatures are Murderous Riders, Oath of Kaya, and maybe some others. And then you might just look at the meta and say, I'm up against a lot of red aggro decks and not a lot of decks with Planeswalkers, so I'm going to do 3 Oath of Kayas and 2 Murderous Riders. Again, the core idea is I want 5 different thingies. Well, this is freaking hilarious. Oh my god. Oh my god. Panzer Odin is playing a big red deck. Oh my god, fuck yeah. Panzer Odin. Panzer Odin is so... Oh, Panzer Odin. Panzer Odin is my dude. Alright, let's go ahead and crack this. Probably for black, I guess. Crack for a black. I say probably because, you know, we have Birth of Meletis, so I probably don't want to crack for planes too often.
Your brain for a minute.
Hey, Toothmaker. Toothmaker, you caught my eye. Man. I was having a wee bit of a tummy ache. It's dying down now. It's feeling good. Oh, boy, I ran fucking hard, man. Enter's tapped. Show me what you got. Yeah, fuck yeah, Panzer Odin. Panzer Odin, yeah, man. Oh, Panzer Odin is so cool, man. I fucking love Panzer Odin. Panzer Odin gets it. Now you understand what's going on here. This is great. It is me, Torbrand, the Torman. You know what, why not? Let's just clear the board off and draw a card. My name's Sean, and I like cards. It's the draw card life for us. I like to draw cards. I listen to some great music today, man. There's this band, I can't ever remember the name of it. I need to remember song names more, because I keep just, like, saving songs and listening to, like, the most recent 3 saved songs. Someone's like, what do they call them? I don't fucking have a clue, man. Let's see what the Temple of Silence. Locthwain in the Membrane. Probably gonna hold this, since it will just die. My name is Day 9, and all I have in my possession is land. Elspeth conquers me. And get this, Panzer Odin cannot cast cards on Panzer Odin's. This will be on my turn. You there! Put that into the bin! Is it Dracoseth? Fuck yeah, it's Dracoseth. I have a read on your soul, Panzer Odin. I have X-ray eyes. The group is Slum Sociable. And there's a song called All Night and a song called Anyway that I've been rocking out. Boom, boom, boom. God, I feel so good, dude. I ran 5 miles yesterday and 5 miles today. Well, like 4.7 and 5.36 or whatever the fuck. Oh, I would love a lily. I'll get the loyalty. Hello, -9. It's right around the corner.
Like a fun new toy.
I don't think you'll be needing that.
Panzer Odin is still the coolest opponent we've ever had. Big Bird says, is there a reason you would ever put a +1/+1 counter on the Planeswalker? Yeah, for instance, if you had Gideon Blackblade, you might want to give it a +1/+1 counter, so that way when Gideon is a 4/4 on return, it's suddenly a 5/5.
How uncivilized.
Stay alive. I'm just going to win this on draw. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Like, you should pretty much be focused on getting more card advantage in the control matchup. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, getting the -9 is super sweet. There's not necessarily a guarantee that we'll hit the -9, but if I can just get more cards, there is a guarantee that I have good spells in here. Who's when both zombies have gotten you the same card draw and 2 more damage? Absolutely. Oregon Crete. Absolutely. Nice catch. Nice catch, my dude. You know, there is an interesting question. Are we flooding? Is our refrigerator running? Okay, let's count. So, again, don't delude yourselves that because the outcome that's happening isn't what you want, that somehow you're getting fucked. So, for instance, we have 4, 5, 6. 6 and 5 is 11, 12, 13, 14 land in 30 cards, which means we've had 16 spells and 14 land, and that's about normal. I don't really think there's anything unusual about that number. You know what I mean? Let's write a couple things to the bottom. Looks like I have 1 scry to the bottom. I did forget to account for the ones that were scry to the bottom. However, even so, we had a whole lot of shuffling going on with the Fabled Passages and stuff, so... Okay. Show me what you got.
I've got other things to burn.
So I would say we have slightly above average, but it's not like we're 5 standard deviations beyond the norm or some shit. My name is Day 9, and this is Card Draw City. That's the correct order. Bam, 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 bam. Trigger, 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 trigger. God, I still remember Marshall Sutcliffe at the Mythic Championship when Lishi Tian was playing Cavalcade of Calamity and swung with it. And Marshall's just laughing. Trigger, 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 trigger. Get in there. Oh, victory. So good. Alright, we won a game. We won a game. Big flexies for a guy that doesn't want a flexi. I'll just do this motion with my arm and move on with my life. Claim the prize, because I'm the guys with the prize. Don't you want to appear manly, says Nobodio. Nobodao, sorry, I thought it was an E. You know, that's actually an interesting question. Does Sean Plott wish to appear manly? There are aspects to your archetypical, like, yeah, he's a manly dude. There's aspects of that that I'm like, yeah, like that idea of responsibility, you know, where it's like, yeah, things are shit, but I'll handle it. You know, I like that. That's like kind of cool to me. The endless stuffing of feelings. I'm not going to say I'm fully against. And I really need to explain that. Stuffing in the negative version of the word, yeah, I don't like that feeling of having to just constantly stuff the pain down and just never show emotion because you're a man. That's bullshit. But I do like the times when I really feel like I was able to set my emotions aside and choose to focus on something that I really cared about. You know, like there's shows when I've just been in horrible moods, but I was able to stay focused, set that aside, do a good job. I'm just gonna choke Mengucci out of cards. Nothing can be cast here. I mean, the Brazen Borrower can technically bounce Davriel, and I would welcome it. Guild Summit's tight. Pay 2 life. Go next with twice. Other aspects of traditional manliness. I'm a very hairy guy. I got hair everywhere, like you just don't care. I mean, that's... I don't really know if I have a choice in that matter. I'm just fucking got hair all over the place. Alright, just fucking hear me out. I got a lot of it, you know. I request that you discard that garbage. What a dick. All night. Alright. One more time. Foretell and Doom. We're gonna celebrate. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. We have more ways to possibly bring shit back with Elspeth. Elspeth who conquereth death. Crickety crack. I'm going to play this to exile the 3/3. Take the damage, because soon enough we'll have a Davriel which can then discard and make things ping for 2. Is there a deck command? Well, the deck is on the screen, so I want people to have the ability to just hover over, click the copy, and then boom, that's it. I think that's all the Doom Foretold's in the bin, man. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna burn. I'm gonna shoot the guy. Oh, got him. Alright, begin the peckening. Yeah. Ugh, feels good. All night. Doom, 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 doom. I don't think my health matters this game. Let's go ahead and just take 5. Perfect. Davriel. Loyalty.
Dealing with you will be easier than dealing with demons.
Now every card needs to be played by Mengucci on Mengucci's turn. And if they don't have a way to do something impactful, then we'll just keep Davrieling them. Hello, I'm Kenwith, the Returned King. Haste and bonk. Or are you going into my face? Is my face the place? No, our dashing boy, Davriel. Ooh, yeah! Cracked. Dude, this is just a chip deck, man. I love, love, love chip decks, man. My torno. I think this will lead us to faster life. Did you guys see that? Karl Marx text translated into uwu. It's just like, Chapter 2, Communists and the Proletariat. Oh my god, it was so funny, man. And it just replaced all the words like that. Like reading it. The workers have a conflict with the proletariat. This is so fucking funny. Alright, I mean maybe we're screwed, but you know. Trying my hardest here. I'm taking treacherous damage. Oh no. The workers are being exploited by the capitalist class. yeah, and it's exactly like that. The wages are disproportionate. Ooh, woo. God, so funny. Seize the means of production. Agent of treachery. You got it, dude.
Rise and shine.
Davriel.
Evil. Outside with. Let's tidy up in there.
Do I really want a second one of these things out, man? Then I think that I will be forced to nuke my own Lily. 'Tis a tragedy. That's all it is. It's a tragedy. Yeah, I'm gonna start taking a lot of pain here now. I'm giving up. Oh, well, this is very good news. Yes. Bing, bang. Ah, ooh, ah. This one. Shoot this one. No, not that one. Shoot this one. Oh, farts. Alright, I'm sending this guy in, man. Alright. It is a good day to discard.
A mind is a terrific
Get whatever you
thing
got
to
out of there,
waste.
man. Get him. Bing bong. Alright, so now we're going to do this. Swing. You can trade your Agent of Treachery. So now my opponent is at 2. So now if I play this Liliana and it gets countered, then Mengucci dies on upkeep. Because this says at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, and it's untap, upkeep, draw.
My army will envelop
Untap,
this
upkeep,
world.
draw.
Smelly, but effective.
All night. Dun, 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 dun. Marie says, did you see the legendary Markov chain generated Dota 2 patch notes from a few years back? It was hilarious. Oh my god. That's so fucking funny, man. I did not see that, but like I love those things. Afterlife. Bam, bam, bam. Trigger, 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 trigger.
I'll find a use for you. Death is in life. They were a lousy servant.
Did you guys see the glory of Artosis playing StarCraft 64? Yes. Who we bringing back, huh? This guy seems good. So right now, Mengucci is basically dead. Like, pretty basically. Unless all of a sudden it's just like a bane fire in my face. Like, I
Your
don't know about.
brain for a minute.
Dude, StarCraft 64 actually has a couple of clever things in it. First of all, in StarCraft 64, you just control the mouse with the cursor. That's it. And when you have something selected, you have to hit, like, B to attack move. Isn't Elspeth lethal? The answer is not necessarily. It's plausible, but I'd rather just sit in this pretty lockdown situation than try to summon a thing and take some damage. I'm genuinely scared about my low health because I've seen a Kenrith, and if my opponent has some way to like get around the Elspeth buff, and I've taken 2 damage and I'm at 6, I'm just kind of a little bit like, ugh. Mal Reynolds just says at day 19. You know what? Right back at you, dude. We're winning games. Ear. Alright, I feel comfortable enough to transition into best of 3. Did I hear it that you were going to do some Tarkov? Yeah, I want Sacriel to show me how it works. Because I just don't want to, like... I'm just, like, there's certain kind of games, like single-player games, that I feel like the assumption is that you don't know anything, and when you're going in, they're going to teach you. And then there's a game that has a history, like an Escape from Tarkov, or a Counter-Strike, or a Dota, where someone really needs to just sit you down and be like, dude, this is how the game works. The oof of Kaya. Isn't it scary? I tend to handle scary things really well, so I'm not worried about that. I really haven't had my headphones in for a while. Show me what you got! You dig my hole, you build a wall down, you fuck. An axe! So build an axe and build him strong, cause... Yeah, Marie, go ahead and link those fake patch notes. That's amazing. Go ahead and play the Birth of Meletis. The Birth of Meletis. Dum. Beep beep, I'm a robot. So speaking of Supergiant, has anyone played Hades? If so, how is it? It is so fucking good, man. Oh no, it's an Ember Cleave. Yeah, this looks very Ember Cleavy. I'll go ahead and block like this. What? Hades is great. Hades is good. Hades is great. Who do we appreciate? The developers. The developers. The developers. The developers. The developers and the calipers. Okay. I question myself this. What is the best and most efficient way to hurt this person? I think this is the route. We zap this. We play the Orzhov Enforcer. Now, our opponent's going to have to sacrifice one of these two. So I expect that... Oh, Anarchist Dreams! I feel so horrible for you! Oh, Anarchist Dreams wanted to sacrifice the Phoenix of Ash, but the trigger was not activated on the stack yet, so Anarchist Dreams was given the chance to respond to the trigger, and then Anarchist Dreams selected the Phoenix before it was time to sacrifice, and then just paid the fucking mana to boost it. That happens all the time. It feels horrible. Anarchist Dream got completely screwed, man. I feel horrible, awful, bad, no good, very sad. Oh my god, that's just devastation. Let me explain my cuts. Cavalier of Dawn... Blow up a thing to make a 5/5. That could be okay. But I'm still a little on this Cavalier of Dawn. Lily is a good way, just a good finisher. Davriel is probably an irrelevant one. I probably never really wanted Davriel. I think I'll want this 2-drop. What do we think is a good ad? I think that Kunoros is good. It has lifelink. By the way, this is a good example. Kaya can delete ovens. Kunoros can prevent cats from entering the battlefield. So this is like 3 ways to deal with cat decks. But Kunoros, you replace a Kaya, and now you have another tool to deal with aggro, because Vigilance means you can attack and defend, and then also it has lifelink. The cards entering the graveyard is more or less irrelevant. I'm going to put another Kaya's Wrath, because we've seen an Axe, and an Axe is a very... continue to make the board go wide. And also these decks are really about that Embercleave. E to Extinction, nice instant speed removal. Devout Decree, nice sorcery speed removal. So, I mean, we basically have built a deck of removal. Might be arguable to try to sneak these puppies in there. It's a way to blow up an Embercleave. Also, Despark is an additional way to blow up an Embercleave, but I don't think I want Despark in this matchup because it's just the Embercleaves. Lumo77 says, on the topic of Hades, do you think it's worth getting now, or should I wait until it leaves early access? Oh, I think it's more than excellent right now. Like, today, the game is fantastic. Alright, everything sucks. Don't play the game, it's horrible. No, I want to keep this. I want to put the swamp back and play this on turn 1. I have to bottom 2? Okay. Nervant Schnappian. What do you want? Are we losing? It looks like we are losing. But if I can peel any Lando, I think I'll be pretty happy. So our claim is that we will blow up an Axe on this turn. Ow. Ooh, ah. Well, I pretty much have as good a run out as I could have hoped. I'm a Rimrock. I think we mulliganed well, and we sideboarded well. What the fuck? This will prevent this bastard from attacking. Do I have anything else in the bin? No. Oh, I should have trimmed the Elspeth Conquers Death. Not cut, but trimmed. I think this is fine. Give me that plains. Plain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. From Terrence says, I'm making tacos watching day 9. I really needed this today. A little treat. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Treat yourself, my friend. Meow. Who else is treating themselves today, man? It is a good day to block. Runaway poop head. Show me what I got. Nice. Nice. I think I'm gonna hit that with the no attack, because now I'm at 8 and I feel so stable. Oh man. Mal Reynolds says I'm on a deload week for the gym life, so it feels like a treat. Yeah, dude. Which Just doing not a lot. Please, sacrifice stuff. Sacrifice me. Champaman22 says, how come MTGA cards from your opponent's hand that you saw once stay revealed, as opposed to having to remember them as you would in Paper Magic? In the official rules of Magic, you are permitted to have a pencil and paper. So, typically pros will just write down every single thing that they see. Give me all of your shit. Yeah, I think that ruling is good in Paper Magic, and the reveal is good in Magic the Gathering Arena. Brain drool, dude. Let me tell you something. I have found the ticket to beating off some of my anxiety. Wow, that sentence came out. You know what? Let's just roll with it. I figured out how to beat off the anxiety. I figured it out, and my anxiety loves it. You know, sometimes you just gotta own it. You know what I mean? See, this is a moment where the hype meter just filling up would be just so good. Everyone would be like, he figured out how to beat it off, hype! And everyone would be like, this is so wonderful. This is a channel about positivity, right? Like, that's what I mean. But, like, if this gets disrupted by, like, all right, guys, I want to keep talking about masturbating and emotion. We have 5 minutes to get that money in before the next level of the hype train. You know, it's one of those things where it's just, this is a good reiteration of why I don't like the hype train feature. But either way. I feel like it is... Holy fuck, man. What do I even think about this, man? This is not an issue. This is not really an issue. This is a bit more of an issue. Yeah, dude, like the whole exercising, like, way longer than I would normally do, just feels so nifty. Feels so good. Not in the moment. In the moment, it's actually quite boring, but gosh, man, in the afterglow of the workout, man, I'm too tired to give a fuck about anything. It's fantastic. Elspeth, Thun's Death. Alright, fuck off. Okay. Okay. Holy shit! Get out of here. I can't get... Who was it the other day that was saying that's what my dog sees every morning when I go down to kiss him? Was that Mal Reynolds who said that, man? I think that's so funny. Oh my god. Like, dude, I mean, since Ford Perfect's gonna play it every single turn, it's just like, good morning, puppy. I love you so much. I mean, that image is just permanently implanted into my brain. A second funny thing happened. Quick, we're gonna go to hype level 3. Begin the pecking. Peck. But yeah, man, exercising and sitting somewhere that feels really good on the body, like a spa, like a sauna. Daddy loves you. So funny, man. Oh. Yeah, Hiya, Pickle Poros. Just gonna do just... I don't care about Pipoporo. Arguably, we should save it, but I mean, I'm sort of happy if my buddy wants to, like, blow up the whole graveyard, you know.
Find your valor and fight.
Alright. Got our opponent down to 22. If Kalakrenos requires 6 cards to be exiled, each of these Uros requires 5 cards to be exiled. And so for that reason, I'm feeling good. Okay, well, I don't know if there's any sweepers in a black, green, blue deck. Probably Tyrant Scorn on this pupper. I am Suspectus. Alright. Alright, my opponent now has a bunch of junk in the grave. Bunch of junk in the grave. Now, in the graveyard, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. So I think it's actually okay for me to play the Cavalier of Dawn to turn one of my 1/1s. Alright. I mean, this is about to be hilarious. Ford Perfect's going to exile the entire graveyard for like a Kalakrenos that I'm going to immediately exile. Mal Reynolds, was that you that talked about the dog stuff? Oh my god, that dog shit was funny. Oh, Daddy loves you. Bye. There's a counter here. It doesn't really matter to me. Not me, but that is great. Yep. You got it, man. Crack for black. I'm attacking. I'm drawing. I'm letting people play extra land. I mean, this might just be like counters and Uros. Hello. I am a collection of Elspeth Conquers Deaths. Yeah, I'm doing this first for sure. What's in there? Is there a Theasa? Opponent hand. Oh, an E to extinction. Fucking fuck. Alright, maybe I should have played the Theasis. Maybe I should have played the Theasa. Because now we can just lose to this Uro swinging and paying. Bomb. Ooh, look at this. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Draw, 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 draw. Play this. Oh, no. It hurts too much. Dude, my brain just immediately assumed that this was a Doom Foretold. I am a bit of a dummy. I'm gonna turn that nerd into a card, though. Quickly, become cards. This Uro's gotten so much more. Yeah, go ahead. Hit me. Hit me in the face. I got a plan for that 1/1. Murderous Rider. Oh, okay. That's like actually a little better. Let's just go ahead and play this. Could it be another counter? Get thee gone! No, I wish not to attack. And I really want Ford Perfect to just, like, nuke the entire graveyard to summon this again. Here comes Daddy. Who's a good boy? Ooh, Phosphorus says, do you have a favorite fruit? I do. It is the banana. It is the noble and holy banana. There could be more counters in here, but I don't really give a damn. Non-creature spells your opponent has don't do anything. I'm going to do this. If it gets countered, this is okay because it immediately comes back due to Elspeth conquering death the following turno. But we'd like to do it in this order because if I'm -4 to sacrifice, yes, it will get killed by the Murderous Rider, but... oh wait, if it gets killed by the Murderous Rider, I won't get my draw effect. Oh! Yeah, I love bananas, man. Nope. Declination commencing. Skip it. Skip it like a Polaroid picture. You know what to do. Alright. We have deaded. Ford Perfect began with a hilarious hand, and then was that one turn where we didn't play the Theros. Oh! Dude, Uro drew so many cards that game. That is, like, so funny. Alright. Alright, 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 alright. I don't think we need Kaya's Wrath, because there's not a lot of, like, sweepery, deepery doos. I don't think we need this Orzhov dude. Noxious Grasps seem very good. Eat to Extinction and Despark seem very good as exile effects. And do I want a Duress? I think with the number of counter spells, a Duress is a good one to include. But what then would we cut? I guess the Birth of Meletis. The gameplay's slow enough. This is a 24 lander? Damn. Dude, the alarm has been going off for so long. I'm not going to play Kunoros because... oh, you know, maybe Kaya's actually, like, a really good choice here. I know what we cut. We cut this and this and this. That's what we cut. And we get the Kaya's in there and put the Birth of Meletis back in. Ooh, we figured it out. Kaya's gonna get out. Ooh. Ah, my neck. Also, we can just play Kaya and hit the -5 very early because Ford Perfect can be self-exiling a... got a mulligan. Okay, that's better. Kraken for a blacken. Now, technically, what I could do is I could have played the Godless Shrine and then the other one, but I think I really do want to curve out. Actually, great. I think Duress first is good. Alright, well, I mean, this is just the thing to do, huh? Oh, shit. This is disgusting. I mean, we're going to lose a bunch of life. Num, 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 num. There are 2 cards in the grave. Alright. You can counter it if you want. Look at all this hand hatred. And there's not even that many hand hater cards. Oh, look at the top X cards and put 2 in there. Cool. Still probably going to take some damage from a lot of Treacherous Blessing procs. But I still think I'm the best player that's ever lived, so, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Uro actually has some relatively nice resilience in this situation. Oh my god, Despark doesn't even interact with Uro. Oh my god, I was thinking the escape cost. Alright, well, you know. Blow this asshole up. I guess we have a sideboard plan change. Oh man, my brain was going, this is a double green, double blue. That's the escape cost. It's not the actual creature's converted mana cost. Yeah, get that bad card out of there. Can you explain the reason behind using the Doom Foretold on empty board state? Yeah, I see what my opponent's hand is, and my opponent relies somewhat heavily on getting those Uros active. So if I could just prevent my opponent from doing any cycling and just empty my opponent out, I feel like I have a better opportunity for winning. Because me taking damage doesn't actually seem to be the most, like, dangerous and or relevant thing. No. No! Oh. Yeah, it's getting a little dicey, but I have a good amount of life gain. So I really just want to mess my opponent up now. Right now. Get out. Yeah, get it out. Bing and bong. So Uro's probably gotta come down. Uro's killing Uros. It's horrifying. We're doing it. I'm just gonna crack this right now because I don't care, even in the slightest. You know? You know it hurts. You know it hurts quite a bit. That was like our Jhin play. I'm actually really surprised that Forward Perfect was like not just playing out Uro again and again and again and again. Huh. That whole exchange really surprised the hell out of me. He didn't have enough in Graveyard? He had enough in Graveyard.
I think you'll be needing that.
He did have enough. Did he not? Yeah, no, I guess he didn't have enough. I guess I miscounted. Jesus, Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Fuck.
Welcome to
Fuck.
domain.
Kunoros better than Davriel, I think. No, my opponent has a shitload of removal.
Fade into the
And we don't actually have terrifically many targets, so... Still stand by to play. Let's go to 1! Going to 1 on a Birth of Meletis. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Gonna get out of here. I'm gonna keep spamming the deck. I'm gonna keep spamming. I'm not entirely sure. I definitely don't think we have a deck problem at this point in time. I'm just gonna keep playing. I mean, that's kind of a weird deck. I've never really seen something like that, so I'm not gonna read terrifically much into it. Opponent goes first. We have a turn 2 play and then a bunch of card draw if we bank a land, so that seems great. What do I think about final payment? It just doesn't seem really that necessary. I think things that gain life feel better, but it could be acceptable. Final payment, for anyone you don't know, you sack a thing. Or pay 5 life to nuke a creature. Okay. Excuse me. So we're up against black-red. And pretty much all aggro decks have Embercleaves as, like, the meaty way of ending the game. So we're very likely going to be trying to use Murderous Rider early and often. Bring it on, my friend. Like, for instance, right now, I'm just absolutely going to blow this guy up. Like, I don't even think it's a close choice. I do not want Son of Salmon to go draw on extra cards on the upkeeps. Yeah, fuck yeah. Do 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 do. La 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 la. I'm gonna pitch a Treacherous. Oh, that's actually so cute, man. Alright, I'm gonna play Treacherous Blessing. There's some haste creatures, and I'll leave my 1/1 back to block. No attacks at all. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I have to, like, Birth of Meletis and Orzhov Rider here. Ow. Guinea Plains. I'm brave, man. I'm swinging. One of the big reasons, now that I'm remembering, in that last game why we lost, is we also didn't remember that D-Spark has 0 interaction with... Yeah, I'll happily trade. D-Spark doesn't have an interaction with the bastards, so that could have been, instead of a useless D-Spark, a useful card. Okay. It's me. Alright, second for cards. Second for cards, second for cards, second for cards. So, the thing is, I would really love for Son of Psalm to escape this bad boy.
The undead make great.
Each player is going to sack 2 creatures because right now Son of Psalm can draw with that butthead. And if we sacrifice, we definitely get the extra cards. I could have pinged for 1, but I am whatever.
Death is enlightening.
Davriel's a way we can win this. So right now, Son of Psalm appears to have some, I'd almost call them like tech methods for trying to kill us, but doesn't really have any hasty creatures. That's going to be such a pain in the ass to deal with. So now we're getting drained for a mana a turn. There is enough cards in the grave for Kroxa, Son of Doxas. Oh my god, I've been eaten to extinction. It's not a big deal. Oh, Elspeth actually has that life gain effect, which is really notably excellent. Okay. Hurt me. Hurt me.
No one has seen my face and lived.
Davriel is going to do some nice work against Son of Psalm, draining Sun for 1 damage per turn. It's not 2 damage per turn because of this damn cat. Because of this damn cat! Meow!
Struggling?
But at this point, Son of Psalm has been denied most of the card draw, and appears to be a Rakdos sacrifice deck that's not about trying to burst me down quickly and use sacrifice effects to accelerate that burst, but is instead trying to permit the game to go on long, get extra various value plays, like Kroxa might make me discard and deal damage to me, which then might allow the Gutter Bones to come back to life, etc., etc., etc. Don't need this. This doesn't have haste. Oh, yes. Alright, so we just do some basics. First and foremost, get out of here.
Perish the thought.
And perish the thought. Owie. Wowie, owie, zowie. This thing has a fucking converted mana cost of 2. Wow, man. Yeah. Yeah. Has a converted mana cost of 2. Would you look at that? We are once again very grateful for our Orzhov Enforcer. Or as I like to call him, Enforzhov. Let's go ahead and crack for a black. So I lose the attrition war. Right now we're chipping away for 1 a turn, and then we can start healing up for billions. We can nuke a Kroxa.
Sorry.
We're gonna get Lily back. You know, we got some good potential methodologies here. We're only getting drained for 1 a turn. I'll discard Kaya's Wrath because this is gonna die. Death Touch, Afterlife 1. Yeah. Lily was exiled, though? Look at that. Would you look at that? That's fine, we'll bring back the Orzhov Enforcer. The play is still correct, using all the wrong reasoning, so yeah, nobody gives a shit. No, we're gonna take 3! No! That card that's in the hand? Get it out of here.
Empty your mind.
Oh!
I rend the sun from the heavens. Heliod will pay.
We have to gain the life because when Kroxa attacks, we take 3 damage. So. This deck has a lot of trickies to it.
I miss your guidance, Ajani.
I miss your guidance, Ajani. Look, it's Shawnee. I miss you, Ajani. Do I have more coffee? I do? Oh! Treating myself. Choose attackers? Nah. Alright, let's ping you for 2. Sniper Davriel.
Loneliness can hurt.
Ugh. So we're going to go to 3. Meow. So when it is my turn again, I will go to 4 if I take this damage. We have enough cards to escape this lady. Hell yeah. More like Snorzov, am I right?
If you are going to fight, fight beside me.
Now, here's the fucking question. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We don't have enough to cast both of these. If I play this and blow up this, we run the risk of dying to another Kroxa. That's not going to help us even a little bit. But I like gambling, and this builds my board a little bit better. Can we target the oven? No. We cannot. We super cannot. Well, I mean, we can, sorry, but we should not. Because the instant this attacks, if I cannot discard a land card, or excuse me, if I cannot discard a non-land card, we dead. So, graveyard's empty, it's all empty. So if my opponent draws a Kroxa, we screwed. The cat can flicker itself, and then flicker itself again to bring us to 1, at which point then we bring back Elspeth. So that's our mathematics. Mathematical! Doesn't that make you die upon casting Elspeth? Ah, nice. The one thing I'd forgotten about.
What a whiner.
Off the top. Yeah, I should have played Elspeth. I didn't count the ping from the blessing. That should have been the play. That's alright. That is alright. Cavalier of Dawn? No. Elspeth conquers death? I don't think we even saw really anything that would be a target for that. Devout Decrees are going to be super great. Eat to Extinction, super great. This dog and these Kayas are great. Probably a Kaya's Wrath. Probably Lolly. Probably get the Davriels out. Don't seem particularly good. Bum bum ba dum bum ba da bum ba dum ba dum ba da da da. I think I'm gonna actually try to get both of these puppers in here. Do I want to cut the Lily? She does seem a little slow for our purposes. I like this because it can blow up the oven and it can blow up our own blessings. gonna give it a shot. Do you guys ever board out lands? Asked Possum Socks. Yes, and a good example of it would be the Andrea Mengucci Mega Ramp deck from Mythic Championship 7 that ran 28 lands, including 2 Castle Vantresses. And if you're against aggro, you cut Endray's Forerunners, you cut Finale of Devastation, you cut Agent of Treachery, so that's a 8 mana, 7 mana, and honestly, 2 12 mana cards. And when you do that, you don't need the 28 lands, so you also cut 2 Castle Vantresses. It's typically not done, but it's also fine to do. Boop. That's my dogs. Another good example of the boarding inland was some amount of time, a long time ago, there was a mostly white deck that splashed red. And so this mostly white deck that splashed red sometimes wanted to board in a few more red things. And Luis Scott Vargas, in his sideboard plan, had 1 mountain, just to make sure that Luis could get to 9 mountains. Which would be particularly important for casting certain cards with consistency. My God, look at me. I am... Even though we are getting absolutely dunkaronied in the pepperoni today, like, fuck, am I answering the crud out of stuff? Here's some woe. Watch yourself. Shoot the woe. Show me what you're working with. Shoot her! Beep Beep, I'm a Robot gives another good example. If you're like an extremely aggressive red deck, some of the most aggressive red decks I've seen run 18, sometimes even 17 land, like at the Mythic, not the Mythic, was it Mythic Invitational at PAX. There's a player that was running 17 lands as red. And you might want to include some extra red cards in the sideboard if, for instance, you... I'm going to do this. I'm going to just shoot this guy down. You might want to include a few extra lands if you wanted to board in like a 4-mana card, like Experimental Frenzy. Alright, well, we can shoot this one down too. Yeah, are you sure you want to do that? I am going to play this one right now. We're approaching a Cavalier of Dawn, which is just such a strong card to have here. And we might be marginally concerned about the Priest of the Forgotten Gods doing some sort of sacrifice tech. But with this Orzhov Enforcer out, I don't think it's an issue. I'm not going to attack here. I don't think it's the best play, because a double block hurts. Like, if my opponent double blocks and then, like, Croxa comes down, if my opponent double blocks and then there starts being cat cycling, that can be a real pain in the ass. Papa Parakin says, hey, I'm Ludo Arena. Do you have any recommendations for decks to upgrade early with your wild cards? I would just recommend doing whatever is most fucking sweet. If there's some sweet shit you're really in the mood for, man, do that sweet shit. I'm a huge believer that, you know, playing to have fun is, like, the most important. Gonna have to shoot the Mayhem Devil. Let's keep this one. Shoot that guy. perfect turn. A perfect, delightful, amazing, fantastic turn. Sacrificing the wall. All before combat, which means we get to do a Swingo Dingo. Unlikely that 2 mana can be spent. Man, this dog is just murdering. It's a complete myrtle dog, man. But Papa Parakin, what you could do is you could watch some games of some decks that seem like a mixture of fun and reasonable, at least, and just, you know, try to start crafting. Like, I am not someone who has a lot of experience with... Ooh, butter goes. I do not have a lot of experience with crafting with partial, or playing with partial collections. Sacrifice this one.
The more, the messier.
We are just... This dog has just won us this game so hard. This dog has menace, man. Now we just get to summon a whole bunch of little ones.
Done long. The time to fight is now. Together we can exact justice.
Jesus, Jamaica was just hit by a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. Holy crap. That is a potent earthquake. Jesus. 7.7 is just insane. Well, I don't think that was the right target. Oh, it's just horrible. Surely there'll be a tsunami after that? I don't know. Call me ours, man. Oh. Alright, quickly. Summon the things.
Heroes, rally to me.
I'm gonna swing with a dog. We're at 25, which makes me feel pretty confident that we are in fact gonna get there. Equidistant between Jamaica and Cuba, it looks like. Oh my god. Oh man, I just think natural disasters are like. I mean, it's one of the just worst things. I feel like it forces you to confront this idea that a lot of stuff is fundamentally random. You know, there's no one to blame. You know, if your project went poorly, you can just go, my boss was a dumbass, and you know what, your boss could have maybe changed something, or maybe one of the other people on the team could have changed something, maybe you could have changed something, you know, there's that ability to feel in control. It's just when you're like, not in control of stuff, and that sort of thing happens, it's just rough. 2 Priests of the Forgotten God is not better than 1 Priest of the Forgotten God. Can't really double sack. I think Son of Som kind of got a little owned by the draw in this particular game. What a tease. BV on Roll says, I get what you're saying, but I'm not sure the analogy fits the gravity of the situation. I'm not trying to say that a natural disaster is anything like a disagreement at work. What I'm saying is that, like, when you have bad things happen in life, that you can rationalize and understand there's that, like, measure of control. But then when you, like, step to something like a natural disaster where, like, the stakes are way higher and things are way more awful. Something terrible just happened to me here. And the fact that there's no... You just sacked the targeted 1/1? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, when, like, the stakes are so much higher and there's just so many... I think I just destroyed this one. Probably this one. And, you know, it's just not... There's just nothing you can do about it. There's no reasoning or argument or person you could talk to change it or something like that. I just... Ugh. Hope everyone's doing okay there. I was actually having a conversation about weather the other day. I actually tweeted about it. You know, that, like, because I'm from Kansas, where there's, like, you know, tornado sirens. There's drills for those and shit. Like, and dude, when the tornado sirens go off and there's not a drill because there is, like, a tornado warning, man. Oh, that shit just freaked me out. Fuck. I don't think I have a lot of choices here. I think I just do Operation Blow Shit Up, huh? Oh, man. Yeah, Kadoing Studios went to school at K-State in Manhattan. Fortunately, only saw the sky turn green once. Dude, yeah, that is some, like, freaky shit when the sky turns green, man. When it turns green and then there's, like, really bad hail and it's, like, dangerous to go outside because it will hurt bad. Like, sky turns green? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sky turning green is something that, like, anyone I know that grew up in California has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Sky turns a really weird hue of green. It's one of those classic, like, if the sky is green, danger, you know. We're getting a bunch of stuff nuked. Is Birth of Meletis really the only enchantment I have left? I think I actually just do this. One, no. Oh, wait, no, not this, not this. This guy, this guy, this guy. One of these things.
Even the gods cannot escape my wrath.
Okay, I do this.
Together we can exact justice.
Game's going on long. I mean, I still have the sweep. But yeah, man, I just that's just horrible. I am so... I really hope everyone who's affected by that earthquake is going to get the resources and support for, you know, the recovery effort. Man. Yeah, is that, who here's been outside when there's hail? Because the weird, like, I don't know why, it's always weird that it's like golf ball size hail. There's grapefruit sized hail. It's just like a weird selection of things that they, like, name the size of hail. Baseball size hail. It's just, I don't know why those are the names that are selected. Grapefruit sized hail? Yes, grapefruit sized hail is a term that you'd hear on the news and shit. But yeah, man, like, you can get just, like, so owned by hail, man. You can get so owned by hail. Oh. I had to, like, walk through fucking hail. Going from... I had to, like, walk through hail just to... Because my car was parked and I had to walk to my house. And, I mean, it fucking hurts, man. It is some stingy shit. So I do this first, right? Alright, well, it's gonna go. So, see ya. Ah, man. Alright, so I kind of... You know what, I'm just doing it, man. My opponent would have had the ability to kill the Elspeth, because the Low Strider can just eat the 2 other creatures. That's right, softball size hail into grapefruit size hail. I don't know why that's the measurement, man. And it just, like, destroys your car. God, I'm, like, just remembering how extreme the weather is in Kansas. I mean, it is just bonkers. Because I know, like, Tornado Alley is the big reason why Kansas weather is so famed. But, I mean, you also have stuff like the winters are just out of freaking control, man. Did we just lose? Are we a dead person? I remember when there was a movie theater not far from our house. And we walked to the movie theater. So we walked there and we were watching a movie, and it was, you know, it was snowing a little bit, but, you know, it's fine. You put on your snow clothes. I think I may have deathed, but that's okay. I think I was really distracted by that weather shit. That weather disgustion. Take a little pain. No big deal. But like, it was a little snowy, went to the movie theater, and then just in the middle of the movie, all the power goes out. Now, losing your power for a few days at a time happens several times a year in Kansas. Because there is the winter storms, and then in the spring and the summer, you get just, you know, thunderstorms, really bad winds. And so, you know, it's just like, oh, okay, the power went out, you know. It's not hugely alarming. It's not great, but, you know, it's not like, what, oh my god. But I swear, that walk back home is still one of the scariest experiences of my entire life. Like, that walk back home, dude. We were walking home, and it was the most dangerous kind of weather. When it's snowing /raining, and it's like at 31 degrees or 30 degrees, or for Celsius, it's like if it's 1 degree. Excuse me, negative 1 degree. It's just below freezing. What happens is it falls down as rain, and then it gets on the tree branches, and then it freezes. So what happens is all the leaves on the trees, because this was a relatively early storm. It wasn't like, you know, after all the leaves had fallen off and stuff. And then what would happen is the weight just builds and builds and builds and builds until it snaps. So, I mean, like, we were walking home, and there were, like, branches falling down, and as we were walking, this giant, like, you know, one of those, like, 100-year-old oak trees just collapses onto a house and smashes through the roof. And my mom was like, holy fuck! Any Steph says, I remember the first time I heard the branches snapping after an ice storm. Yeah, it actually sounds like gunfire. You get this, like, grrr, sort of, like, trilling sound, because what's happening is the top layer of snow is like hardened and icy, because again it's falling as rain, it's sort of freezing. So there's some snow and there's some like, you know, but in particular there's a lot of like crunchiness to the top of the snow. And then all the ice on the tree branch, when it gets too much weight and snaps a little bit, all the ice breaks off, and then you have broken ice raining on ice. So it sounds like all of this. So I mean, we're wandering around hearing that like all this stuff around. I mean, now that I'm an adult saying this story, man, I'm like, I can't believe I lived, dude. So I think it's like sacrifice, or bring this back, sack, kill. And then that's lethal? Yeah, that's lethal. I could have played this way better, man. I'm getting involved in the weather stuff. But God, I just hate so much how many terrible experiences can happen from weather when, I mean, it's just, there's just no control you have over the weather. Hopefully there'll be a location soon that I can find out. Try to donate some money to the relief effort. Okay. You know, after this game, I am probably gonna snack on some food real fast, and then come back and do an evening of stuff. I'm not playing this deck very well, so I'm gonna try to start talking a lot more about the game, thinking through the stuff. Okay, so we have some options. There's nothing we can really do right now. I think I want Agonizing Remorse before the Birth of Meletis to really try to understand where some of the power spiky things are. I think I'm going to get rid of the Annex. Gamer time. That's right, guys. I know you came here because you're gamers. But guess what? I'm also a gamer. Well, this is a real pain in the ass. I feel a little compelled to dig for a way to deal with this stuff. I feel compelled to try to find it. I will receive said damage. Infuriate into Embercleave is bad. Should be Infuriate into Embercleave, which I think is death. Pull off all that, play that onto this one. Which then deals a bunch. Bing. Bing. Hell, maybe I even should have removed the Embercleave. But the way that these red decks work, like, I can't remember who said this, but it doesn't look like there's any aggro deck that is not an Embercleave deck. This feels a little slow. These all feel... Maybe I should keep this due to the heals. Elspeth Conquers Death has limited targets in this deck. I think I'd rather cut them. I'm going to overcut for a moment. Devout Decree seems good. Eat to Extinction seems good. Healy Dog seems good. Kaya's Wrath seems good. Davriel's probably not going to be the most helpful. Let us see here. I'm going to put in 2 Kayas and 2 Duresses. So this deck runs 4 Infuriates, 4 Embercleaves, and often runs Often runs that one that gives a creature +2/+2 and everything else trample. I can't remember what its name is, but it's like... Alright, well, we had a bad run. Crack for black. Alright. Maybe D-Spark. I think that D-Spark is plausible as having merit. But I will argue that the post-sideboard, I have a lot of aggressive removal, which means that Embercleave will have an increasing difficulty even landing at all. This kind of stinks. I need to draw exactly a swamp. Alright, let's get rid of one of those. Son of Psalm says, oh, hey, Son of Psalm is the person who roasty-toasted us in the last match. How did that Aristocrats build feel to play against? I don't have a super good understanding of the deck that we're piloting, so I probably can't give you a super accurate answer, but it definitely felt... Your deck felt very grindy, which is very different from a lot of other decks that I've played against in the Rakdos camp, which is like very, very bursty, trying to like pick me off. I also was a wee bit distracted. Tap, tap. We were having a discussion about the weather. Oh my god, doesn't that sound like the biggest crock of bullshit that anyone's ever said? Like, well, I was speaking about the weather, so I was unable to answer your call at the time. Put this one out. I don't have anything else to do. Boy, you know what? You know what? I mean, it seemed reasonable. It seemed reasonable. But listen, I mean, I was having a conversation about the weather, so I mean, there's no telling how I could have won that game. Oh, Son of Psalm, it was you who we tried to use Elspeth Conquers Death against Croxit. Yeah, I've been making that mistake like all day, man. Also, we are totally fucked. I'm gonna go ahead and concede out of this game. I think I don't actually know the right way to pilot this deck. It seems to do all the things that I find cool, except it appears I'm not cool enough to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a deck that I do know how to play. Let's get this Rainbow Fires deck in here. Fuel decks. Where is this? Rainbow Fires. Rainbow Fires. Please play the enchantments deck. We'll do it in a quick sec. I want to load up this one. Does this not have a sideboard? What? There's no sideboard. You know what? It's fine. I don't even care. Let me just show you this best of one deck. This is what we're gonna play after I get a quick sandwich. I'm gonna make myself a little sandwich. Rainbow Fires. This is one of the highest win rates in best of one, and it is a juicy, juicy deck. I partly think that it could be improved with some Sphinx of Foresights because I just love the consistency that those provide. But we have some early ramp with Growth Spiral and a pair of Uros. We have some early removal options, as well as late removal options in the Deputy of Detention, but also the Deafening Clarion. We have Fires of Invention. And then we have 4 Niv Mizzets Reborn. We have 4 Teas of War. We have a pair of Kenriths. I mean, this just blows shit up. So we're going to be rocking this out in best of one when I come back, but I gotta be honest, the fact that I forgot to get lunch when I was at the grocery store yesterday to get lunch is something that pains me. We're going to do a quick one when we come back Maybe winning? Huh?